Welcome back. In this module, we will explore the concepts related to the use of deployment and monitoring services in the cloud. Deployment Manager enables you to manage your infrastructure as declarative configurations. This gives you the ability to create, version, test, deploy, and manage versions of your infrastructure, just like you would manage your application's code. You can use Deployment Manager to define infrastructure setup using declarative scripts, create reusable templates in Jinja 2 or Python, deploy infrastructure from scripts, create repeatable deployments, and preview changes before deploying configuration. A deployment configuration defines the cloud resources to provision. The configuration includes the type and properties of the resources that are part of the deployment. A deployment configuration consists of a top-level configuration file in YAML syntax, templates, and additional files. You can declare all your resources in the top-level configuration file for simple deployments. For more complex configurations, or to create reusable chunks of configuration, you can create templates that create subsets of the configuration. You can then import one or more templates to construct your complete configuration. Deployment Manager will expand these templates to create your final configuration. These reusable templates can be developed using Jinja or Python syntax. An instance of a configuration is called a deployment. For example, you can create test and staging environments with a single deployment configuration. Both AWS CloudFormation and Cloud Deployment Manager enable you to manage infrastructure as code. You can build reusable AWS CloudFormation templates using JSON or YAML syntax. With Deployment Manager, you can build a top-level deployment configuration in YAML and reusable templates in Jinja or Python. An instance of a configuration created using AWS CloudFormation is called a stack. An instance of a configuration created using Deployment Manager is called a deployment. A deployment configuration launches Google Cloud resources. Both AWS CloudFormation and Deployment Manager enable you to define arbitrary name-value pairs and technology-specific metadata key-value pairs. In AWS CloudFormation templates, you can specify user data scripts to run when launching Amazon EC2 instances in a Deployment Manager configuration. You can define a metadata key called startup script2 with inline commands or a script file to run when the VM launches. For more information about the startup script metadata key, see the link here. In both AWS CloudFormation and Deployment Manager, you can specify that a resource depends on the creation of one or more other resources. In AWS CloudFormation templates, you can use predefined pseudo-parameters such as AWS region or define your own parameters to make your template flexible. In Deployment Manager, template properties can be passed in as parameters to templates. Environment variables are equivalent to pseudo-parameters. AWS CloudFormation enables you to define a template with conditions to create or omit certain resources. For example, consider an AWS CloudFormation template that creates resources for a web application environment. You can add conditions to use different VM types for the test stack and production stack. In Deployment Manager, you can achieve the same functionality by setting a property in the deployment configuration file. You can pass this property to a template that launches a different VM based on the value of the property. Both AWS CloudFormation and Cloud Deployment Manager enable you to define outputs for a template. For example, you can expose the IP address of a database created in a template so that users can easily reference the IP address when creating their own templates.